Okay, today we're going to look at sine and cosine. So, let's see. Sine and cosine. Now, we're back to our right triangle. Right? And we're standing at an angle. So, there's a right triangle, and we have two angles. Let's call this theta and beta. Once again, we use Greek symbols to represent angles. And so let's say we have 3, 4, 5. And so the sine ratio is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse. And the cosine ratio is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So, if we look at the sine of theta, we're standing at theta, and we're like, 3 is opposite, and 5 is the hypotenuse. And so the cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, I guess I use theta. No, this is fine. So, it's any angle, right? Now, let's say that I'm standing here, right, at beta. Now, the ratios are still the same. So what's the sine of beta? You say, okay, well, the ratio for everything is opposite over hypotenuse. So you're standing up here at beta, opposite is 4 over 5. Opposite is 4, the hypotenuse is 5. Same thing with cosine of beta. It's just an angle. So I'm standing up here, and I'm seeing what's next to me. Oh, the 3, and the hypotenuse is the 5. 3 over 5, and that's basically it. So let's just try some problem. Let's try a problem. So let's have a right angle. We'll have a right triangle right here. The side is x and 15. And the angle is 32 degrees. What is the measurement of x? So it's the idea, same thing with the tangent. You're standing at the angle, and you say, what is given, what's unknown? So you say, okay, if I'm standing at 32, this is the opposite, and this is the hypotenuse. So you say, opposite of hypotenuse, that's sine. So you write the equation, sine of 32 is equal to x over 15. Multiply both sides by 15, x equals 15, sine 32. Go to your GDC, make sure your GDC is in degrees. Look at the upper right-hand corner, and you figure out the answer. Hey Siri, 15 times the sine of 32.
The answer is 15 to 32 degrees.
7.995. So that's the length, 7.95. What else if I added another variable in here, and I asked you to find y? So you would say, okay, I'm still standing at 32 degrees, but this case, the y is adjacent, and the hypotenuse is the hypotenuse. So you say, okay, adjacent over hypotenuse, that's cosine. So the cosine of 32 degrees is equal to x over 15. X equals 15 cosine of 32. Hey Siri, 15 times cosine of 32.
The answer is 15 cos 32 degrees.
So x equals 12.7. And so this length is 12.7, and the length up here is 7.95. Now, also from the tangent lesson, we know about the inverse sine, inverse cosine. So You can be given a triangle, a right triangle. It doesn't need to be in this direction. And you can be given like two sides. Let's say you have 11 and 16, and you're asked to find, either of the angles. How about, so we're asked to find, let's use pink. I want to know angle A, and I want to find the angle C. Okay? Well, you're in luck, because you can use Sohcahtoa. So the idea is, and I keep saying that word Sohcahtoa, Sohcahtoa. Sine is opposite of hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So we have our structure here. So you say, okay, I'm going to stand at A. Stand at A. What is given? Well, if I'm standing at A, then I have the opposite over the hypotenuse. So I can put that together and say, okay, the sine of A is equal to 11 over 16. Now we saw from the tangent lesson, the way to undo sine is inverse sine. So we're going to say that A is equal to the sine, -1, 11 over 16. Please remember, this is not exponents. Go to math, trig, and you'll see this symbol there, and that should give you the answer. Let's see if Siri can do it. Hey Siri, what is the inverse sine of 16 divided by 11?
The answer is approximately 0.1428 plus I times negative 0.31497.
No.
Minus the square root of minus 1.
Stop. Hey Siri, 11 divided by 16. Anyway, so you put that in your calculator, and then the next question is, how do we find C? Well, if I'm standing at C, let's use another pen. So let's stand at C. Stand at C. If I'm standing at C, this is my adjacent and my hypotenuse. You say, okay, if I'm standing at C, I can use cosine. So cosine of C is equal to 11 over 16. To find C, you do the inverse cosine, and you come up with your answers. So let me quickly do that on my calculator for you. And so, let's see, go to your calculator. Calculator. Flip it around. So I'm going to do 11 divided by 16, enter, and then I'm going to do seconds, sine. So the first angle is 43 degrees, 43.4. Let's go up, and then 11 divided by 16, enter, second, inverse cosine, 46 degrees. So you might say, oh wait, these angles add up to 90? Not a coincidence. I mean, to think about why that's true. And then the problems are just, the idea is explore sine and cosine, and that's basically it.